Hello, everyone, and welcome to Primetime Crisis Gotham. We'll be doing the first two episodes this week, Reign in Hell and Burn the Witch.
Burn the Witch.
Burn the Witch.
For some reason. I don't know why it's called that. I don't really know why the first episode is called what it's called.
I feel like Burn the Witch makes a little bit more sense because of the Fish Mooney thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's what that is.
And there's a mob. They probably had pitchforks and torches. So this show's kind of too crazy for one person.
So I'm back! It's basically Gotham Discussions again. Without Steve Baxi, because he's done with this show.
Sadly for him.
Yeah, I think so too. Because the really fun madness started after he left.
I really like this show.
I still can't look away. I've been continuing to watch it this whole time while I haven't been reviewing it.
Trainwreck on fire.
Trainwreck on fire?
Trainwreck on fire.
I think you made a really apt point last season when you were doing these by yourself, when you said that once you realize that this is just adult Power Rangers, it all kind of works. There's a standard for most regular narrative drama that you cannot hold the show to.
No.
And it is really consistent about that at this point.
Yeah, I was a little worried that when we got to season 3, they'd, pull back and it would be a little bit less crazy and they'd, try again to make it kind of serious drama, and then they'd give up somewhere halfway through the season. They didn't.
No, they have not sobered up. They are still drinking 50 shots of whiskey before they start making the show.
It's wonderful.
Collectively, because one person drinking that many shots would die.
And we're having fun trying to figure out who knows what show they're in, who's given up on the show that they're in.
Absolutely, it's hilarious.
Bruce Wayne's given up.
That'd be a fun thing to run down real quick, wouldn't it? Bruce Wayne's definitely given up. Alfred's just having the most fun.
Yeah,
you can have. I think Donald Logue is in a mid place, where I think he knows what show he's in, but he's still just giving this exact same performance he started with.
Yeah. Well, and that's just kind of Donald Logue. I don't know if I've ever seen him in something where I'm well, he's not even trying. He's just a likable guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing a likable guy.
And I still have this thing with him where he's always the character that makes the most sense, almost as if he's got to be writing his own dialogue.
He's just improvising it all on the spot.
I always feel that way. You got this great thing in this last episode where we keep just cutting back to him, and he's got these reaction shots where he just keeps agreeing or disagreeing with people.
That's true.
Oh,
that's true too.
That is not true, and it just got hilarious. It turned into a comedy show in the middle of the scene.
Mackenzie, I think his last name's Mackenzie, the guy playing Gordon.
He's given up.
Or he finally figured out what show he's in. He's giving a performance for that show because he's just Batman.
Yeah,
and he's even doing a Batman voice.
But he's crazy. I don't care. Batman is the thing because he's not really Batman. Batman isn't like a bounty hunter who goes after people for money.
No, but he's a cop who's working outside the law.
Yeah,
he's kind of, I think he's playing Batman. He's just doing a Batman voice all the time.
And he's doing the kind of the Clayface thing he was doing as Clayface.
It's not over the top.
Now it's part of.
It's a little reined in.
But if he had never done that thing, you would think this was insanely over the top.
You're probably right.
Even compared to things that he had been doing before. So it feels like this, again, maybe also sort of a midpoint thing where it's he kind of gave up on the show he thought it was. And I feel like there were some episodes, especially last season, where you could almost see a little bit of disappointment in his performance, I thought. And maybe now he's accepted what it is, and he just at some point
he's rolling with the punches.
Yeah, the writers, the writer staff should have sat down with them at some point and said, "Okay, this is
a comedy.
This is black comedy '60s Batman." And everybody should know that. But then I don't know that you get some of the performances you get out of people if they don't know what show they're in. B.D. Wong knows what show he's in.
Yeah, but he's great.
He's great.
And if this show played it straight, he could mostly do the same performance and he'd still be a great Doctor Strange.
I was excited they didn't kill him off or find some way to put him in stasis or something. I sort of expected this would maybe be his last hurrah.
Fish Mooney does not know what show she's in.
No, she's always had that problem, though.
Yeah.
Now, to give her a little bit of credit, because I know you hate her and I don't like her either, I was interested in her at the beginning, and I thought that performance was okay, and I feel like the show almost, I'll go this far. I think early on, the show almost, like followed her lead. Because, like, she's giving this, like, really melodramatic, you know, like she's in a melodrama, like she's in Sin City or something, sort of performance, and you have a lot of other characters that aren't doing that. Now even the sane characters are acting this way, and being in that kind of a show. And I sort of feel like she and Penguin together, like, collectively, kind of set the tone for what this has turned into.
Yeah. Well, and when the show started...
I don't need her now, and I didn't need her when she was in that prison at the end of the first season, and all of that, where it was just a slog.
Yeah. And it's still kind of a slog with her now. Like, I just don't care, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to care. Like, she's...
I've had that all along with her.
So, across these 2 episodes, her whole motivation is that whatever they did to her in Arkham is changing her.
It's
and
killing
she's dying. Her. Yeah, and she's dying. That's what I meant. It's killing her.
Yeah.
Nobody else, apparently. Everyone else's operations went fine. Just her. She's dying. And she's trying to...
Yeah, I was confused about that, too. And I kept thinking, well, is everybody that came out of stasis at the end of last season, like, a clone, or are some of them also still people that were, like, resurrected from the dead or changed or something?
I think they're all that way, except for Clone Bruce.
But I don't know, because we know we have a Clone Bruce, and I don't know who these other people are. And weren't they all kind of cordoned off in a separate kind of place, or were they keep? I just don't know.
Yeah, we spent a lot of watching these episodes being like, do you remember where that character ended up? Where's the last time we saw this person? It's
made me kind of wish
it's gone. It's leaving.
It made me wish that we kind of had the time to go back and rewatch all the second season again.
At least the second half.
Except I would be right, because that first half we're not doing anything with that Gallivant stuff except for the sisters bag.
Mm-hmm. And she wasn't in the second episode.
But Barbara was there.
She's all around Barbara in the first episode, and she's not there in the second episode.
Yeah. I wondered about that too. But before we get into specific things in nitty gritty, I feel like we should probably just talk about this on the whole and say so many subplots.
Oh, yeah.
So many characters.
Well, we commented in the first episode, everyone got a scene.
Yeah.
At least a scene, every single character was in that first episode.
Except for Hugo Strange.
But he came back in the second episode, and then he kind of leaves again. I don't know, because he's billed as guest star.
Right.
He's not part of the credits, so I don't think he's a main character.
No, he's not, but he never has been. I mean, he's always been billed as a guest star.
Neither is a bunch of the other characters that are now basically main characters. At least for a little bit. I mean, Ivy's probably going to be a main character for a little bit.
Yeah, but that's a new actress now, and they're going in a different direction with her. And they're basically reinventing her from the vines up. And
what happened... I mean, I guess we can get this one. So where did Selena go in the second episode? She was hanging out with Fish Mooney. Where's she?
I don't know. All the sidekick characters have just disappeared.
Yeah.
I guess she's off doing something. But it's difficult to corral this many characters.
Yeah. And they're not doing it well.
It's too many. And we already have, of course, by the second episode, had to pick and choose what subplots we're going to deal with right now and which ones we're going to save. Ed's not in this episode.
Yeah. But I kind of like it a little bit because I know if I'm not enjoying one subplot, it's going to be 2 minutes and then jump to the next one.
That's a good point, and it is 2 minutes. Yeah, it's like we're making a show for people with no attention spans.
Yeah. It's great.
And I'm not emotionally invested in any of this.
No, which is where I was going with the Fish Mooney thing is, am I supposed to care? Am I supposed to feel bad that she's dying and that her creator can't? I mean, I saw Blade Runner. There's nothing for me here.
But because this show is such an over-the-top stylized melodrama, you kind of shouldn't care about anybody on a human level if they're all supposed to be kind of archetypes.
And I don't.
And I don't. But I've kind of made my peace with the Jim Gordon thing, where at this point I feel like they know where they are with that. Because last season you had the whole thing where it seemed like he killed Gallivant. Mm. And it doesn't matter that Gallivant came back from the dead because he really did kill him. Mm. And so we're supposed to still be sympathetic toward Jim Gordon because he's our main character, but he's already crossed the Batman line and has gone off the deep end and might do it again. And like he didn't really pay for that in any significant way until the end of last season, and then suddenly it was like, oh yeah, that's a problem. We should probably do something about that. And now he's this kind of totally other thing.
But the way this show works, I know in 2 episodes they can sweep this all under the rug. He'll be chief of police. You know, like.
Well, that's
they do that.
That's what they did when he went to jail. Or Arkham, or wherever he was. I forget. He didn't go to Arkham, did he?
No,
he was in prison.
He was in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. They're skilled at that. They can just sweep things under the rug and just. Well, and we're already doing that in that. Okay, so he's going to the we get this in both episodes. He goes to the police station. He talks to Bullock and he talks to
Barnes,
but he also talks to
Lucius Fox.
Lucius Fox, who's now working at the police station.
Why do we have to do that with everybody? Ed started at the police department. Okay, I liked that initially, the whole kind of Dexter thing, like that was okay with me. But like beyond that, we've had Leslie Tompkins working at the police department. We now have Lucius Fox. What does Lucius Fox do there?
He's some kind of coroner or something. Because he was examining the dead body.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure what that had to do with his job.
Computer sciences?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He's one of those scientists. He doesn't specialize, he's just scientist.
But we established a long time ago that, again, this show is not anything like real world on any science stuff or especially like the law, how the law works. And yeah.
But so Gordon goes, we have a couple of different scenes where he goes to the police station and is talking to people. Everyone in that station knows who he is and that he's not a cop.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bounty hunter. I don't think police are supposed to talk to bounty hunters like that and show them evidence like that. No one at that police station is like raising an eyebrow and being like, hey, our coroner just took Jim Gordon to the back where that dead body is.
That's a good point. I assume it's just because nobody can keep up with whatever the status quo is. So they're like, does he still work here? Does he not? I don't know. You know he'll be back here in 2 weeks, so...
But so they're already ignoring that, so they'll probably ignore it when he comes back and becomes commissioner. I hope he goes immediately to commissioner, too. I hope he doesn't come back as a cop. I hope when he finally comes back, he's just
it won't be commissioner, it would be chief of police, because we still have the commissioner guy.
He'll go away.
If memory serves. But remember last year you kept calling Barnes the commissioner, and he's not the commissioner. He's the chief of police. You have that other guy that's all corrupt and that they were pushing against in first season, or was it second? I forget. Now I think it was first. But anyway,
it's brain spaghetti the whole time.
I'm a little surprised that Barnes, that Michael Chiklis' character, is still alive.
Yeah,
I thought they killed him off at the end of last season.
Nope, he's not dead.
He's not dead.
And we thought he'd kind of like immediately get killed off in this season. He's not dead yet either.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Maybe Chiklis is just liking being on that show. I don't know.
And he does not care that he's got crutches. He was about to go into like an active like firefight crime scene in the second episode. He was on his way. He didn't because things happened, but he was like third dude like going in. He didn't care.
He's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm kind of glad that he's still around. Yeah. But I predict that that Harvey Bullock will take his place this season. I think he'll be chief of police by the 4th or 5th episode.
Harvey Bullock will be chief of police?
Oh yeah, absolutely he will. Well, because but that's not that far fetched, because remember he had that short period where he had to take over.
Right.
And I think that's probably where they're going with that. And they're both like gruff personality types and stuff. I kind of see them playing Barnes as like Bullock more sober. Sort of.
My favorite Barnes scene so far is when he talks down both Bullock and Gordon. Mm-hmm. And Gordon, he gives like a lot of crap.
He dresses him down.
Yeah. He gives him a lot of crap and all this stuff. And then he goes to Bullock, and his whole speech to Bullock is basically, "I'm disappointed in you." Like, that was it. It wasn't like, you broke the rules, you're a bad cop. He was like, "I'm disappointed."
But that speech was so funny because it was like the first time he's ever given him a compliment.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "That must have been a fluke."
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I felt pride. Next time I'll know it was gas.
Oh, that's what This show.
I thought I was having a heart attack, but I realized it was pride.
It was just pride.
I'm not angry at you, Bullock. I'm just disappointed.
So, I was surprised they did the Poison Ivy thing over 2 episodes.
Are you?
I was a little bit. I was a little surprised they stretched that out. Because, I mean, that's just an excuse to get her older so they can take her in a more Poison Ivy-ish direction. Because they've kind of thrown their hands up in the air and decided, oh, this isn't really a Batman origin show anymore. It's just a reimagining set before Batman. But that's really where we are now. I am to a place where I could see them killing off any character. I could see them killing off major villains, like really, especially because you can always just come back later and be like, that was a prototype for that villain. You know, or we can bring them back from the dead, because 2 seasons, beginning a 3rd, we already are doing that in this show, and we have superpowers already in this show.
Yeah.
Did you expect that?
I mean, I did after last season.
No, I know with that, but I mean, like when the show started, or like mid-second season, like, did you think this show would this early go to a superpower place?
I didn't think we'd get full-blown costume Mr. Freeze. So no, that was surprising.
Much less Azrael.
Yeah,
which is a great costume, but the weirdest choice ever. Boy, that thing with him on the bridge, that's just right out of Arkham City, right? Like, I haven't gotten to talk about this show in a while.
I like the new Poison Ivy, like she's a sexy lady, like that's what they're doing with her.
Yeah, she's fine.
Morals are a little mixed. She gets really angry. Okay, so she gets, Fish Mooney has this guy that can suck the life out of you. And he, like, grabs Ivy, and then, like, she slips and falls, so she's just, like, 4 or 5 years older. She washes up on the shore, and now she's a sexy lady, as opposed to, she was, like, 11 before.
Yeah. Probably 13.
You know, at least they cast an older actress and didn't just try to play her that way.
They couldn't have.
I like
Not if they're gonna go all sex symbol-y.
And we get a really little bit of seeds where, like, nobody ever really looked at her, thought she was attractive, and now people do. I think that could be interesting. It won't be, but it could be interesting.
You said seeds.
The idea of someone that's really kind of like frumpy and you know, almost like wall decoration kind of person, all of a sudden being a smoking hottie. I feel like there's something you could do with that psychologically.
More than that, it's a puberty thing.
Yeah, sure.
More than that, it's nobody's gonna point at a 10 or 11-year-old and be like you know, oh, you're beautiful. Like even if she was really attractive at that point, she might not have ever heard that word associated with her before.
But nobody her age even seemed to really pay attention to her either. Like,
well, no, that's true.
Like there's guys hitting on Catwoman, Catgirl,
but
young Catwoman.
But I would assume that, like, once she went through puberty, like, naturally and developed, she'd be like, oh, I have assets now, and then she would probably play that up to get what she wants.
But I think it's interesting to do it overnight. Like there's something to do there. I'm not sure they're going to do that, but it's there is an interesting story to tell there. But so,
does she ever see herself in a mirror? Does she have any idea what she looks like?
She has to know at the end.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
Because she gets dressed.
Well, the point I'm making is, it's not that she doesn't know. I'm just wondering if she has any idea what she looks like. I thought it was weird that you wouldn't immediately go for a mirror or something. Because she's like, I've changed, and because I was confused at first when she was talking to the guy that takes her back to her house. Who, let me say, I kind of expected to take advantage of her. I was surprised we didn't go to that place. I guess they're outside of Gotham, so he's not a Gothamite.
Well, no, they kind of set it up. Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, he refers to her as beautiful. He talks about his ex-wife. Like, it looks like they're going to go that way.
And then they don't go that way.
No. See, his mistake was...
He could have had a plan, and he just got killed before he
His mistake was he didn't water his plants enough, and they're starting to die.
Yeah.
And she's angry about that, and then we cut away for like the entire episode, and then we cut back, and now she's in a sexy dress, and like we just linger on her coming down the stairs.
We not only linger on it, you don't even know what character it is for a minute.
Yeah, because for a second I thought it was Leah Thompkins.
That's what I thought it was too. Yeah, and Leslie Tompkins.
Yeah.
But yeah, she comes down the stairs, and you see her from chest down for a while. And I even commented to you, I was like, oh, we're doing that shot, okay.
And then she steps away, and the camera pans back, and we just see that guy's laying on the ground, you know, blood in his head. and a potted plant broken next to him. She used the plant to murder the guy.
That's so weird.
Super anti-poison ivy.
Yeah. But it's because all the villains in the show are generic and homicidal for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where, like, their motivations, they're always superficial just to have kind of a reason to do it. The biggest insult with this, I think, is Mr. Freeze, who, like, has a legitimate reason for what he's doing and kills people without necessity. Like, they don't... It wasn't a... like necessary evil thing. It was just, oh, he's a bad guy, so he murders people. And this is that kind of thing.
Well, and everyone's that way. I mean, we did this with the Riddler, too.
Yeah.
Like they just have to be killers.
But he's at least insane.
But I don't think...
Mr. Freeze wasn't driven to that place yet.
I don't think they had to immediately make him a murderer.
No, well, and I didn't like the way he was a murderer.
Or he was Two-Face.
Yeah, well, and also just, you know, that it was the typical somebody's going after my woman thing, and well, I mean, okay, so like that guy was abusive and stuff, but
well, and then he accidentally murders her.
But
and then after that, it's just he can just kill anybody he wants. There's no...
Yeah, and now he's just the Penguin, except with a riddle motif, and he's supposed to be an intellectual.
He solved that puzzle box.
Yeah, I was going to mention the puzzle box thing. We're talking about these two episodes together.
Yeah, we should mention, we didn't even know the first episode came out. No one was talking about it.
This is how much no one's talking about the show.
We completely missed it. I didn't even see, like usually, like, Conquer Resources and things like that will, like, throw up, like, a Gotham premiere. I didn't see anything. And
that doesn't mean that didn't happen, but we just didn't see it.
Yeah, and someone was like, why hasn't Eric done Gotham yet? So we watched it yesterday, being Monday, and we're like, well, the next episode he's going to be on Hulu tomorrow. We might as well just do them together.
It comes out in 8 hours. We should probably wait.
Yeah. Because it'd be really dumb to put out all these. We put out a video where we were like, had all these ideas of like, I wonder if this is going to go somewhere. I wonder if that's going. Well, we'll know.
Yeah.
I mean, we still don't know. I feel like we probably could have done that video and we would be in the dark about as much as we are now, except for Fish Mooney.
We are pretending like we have built the Riddler. And again, it's complicated because of the kind of wacky show it is. But we have pretended like we've built Enigma up to being way smarter than he seems to be. Like, he's been too slow on the uptake to be able to solve a puzzle cube in 20 seconds. And
not just a puzzle cube. This is a puzzle cube handed down from generation to generation. It's driven mathematicians mad. And he's just like, open.
But then, it's that kind of show. I mean, as I've said before, this thing has turned almost critic-proof.
I mean, here's the thing. I really like this show.
I don't like that phrase, but...
I really legitimately kind of, like, love this show.
I do, too.
But I think
I'm ashamed of that sometimes.
Well,
but...
and I'm not sure if it's a so bad it's good thing, or if I just view it as a comedy at this point.
That's where I'm at.
Which maybe is kind of the same thing, but I view this show as a comedy.
Well, because so bad it's good is usually the people making it don't realize how awful.
And we don't know with this. I can't believe that they know that they're making a show that's as funny as it is.
I also can't believe that with as consistent as it's been about the melodrama and the absurdity, that's not intentional.
Well, but we're doing things that I think would be counterintuitive if you realized you were making Dark and Gritty 66.
Unless you're also, at the same time, just trying to parody current TV dramas.
That might be, because I
so that's why you do the love triangles and crap.
Yeah, I was going to say at the end of episode 2, so there's a reporter. And
Valerie Vale.
Valerie Vale, not Vicky. I don't know why. She doesn't even mention having a sister.
Nothing.
And what she does...
Or if she does, we talked over it.
No,
but I don't think that ever happened.
No, because she talks about her family. She says, my brothers and my father and like my grandpa... Like, everybody in her family is a cop.
Right, she mentions that.
Which makes it weird in a cop family that both daughters would become... If Vicky Vale's her sister, it would be weird that both daughters become...
I guess it could be a cousin?
It seems weird that in a cop family, two people would become reporters.
Yeah. I don't know why they went that way. And again, like, why are we why are we trying to make sure that certain things don't happen too early when we haven't been careful about that with him? I mean, like, again, Mr. Freeze is Victor Freeze. Like, he's already Mr. Freeze. So basically, so we're going to have Jim Gordon dating Leslie Tompkins and now Valerie Vale before Bruce Wayne becomes Batman and is, helped out by Leslie Tompkins and is, dating Vicky Vale. Okay. Like, I don't understand what the point... Like, so at the same time as we're aging Poison Ivy, we're not using Vicky. Why? I don't get it.
Well, the biggest thing with the show is they have no idea what to do with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Like, they've kind of got everything else figured out. They know how to play that stuff fun. They do not know what... I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in this season we send them off for training and we just don't use them.
Interesting.
Because I don't think he wants to be there, and they just don't know what to do with him.
I want to say you might have even suggested that when we did our predictions video, but I forget.
I did. I don't know. But
because we keep kind of jumping back and forth between different status quos with him, right? Where it's like, okay, now we're back to the he's gonna like try to be a normal kid place again. We've done this already.
Yeah. But with Valerie Vale has one of the funniest lines across the 2 episodes. It is the Harlequin romance kind of a thing, where, like, it's the dark, mysterious man, where right before her and Gordon start making out, she goes, "Who are you, Jim Gordon?" It's so good! I love it so much!
And it's like the most forced obligatory makeout scene where it's like, this is a plug-in for the formula thing,
After
right?
she
met her first episode, they're making out second episode, he'll be ready to like, put a ring on her finger by episode 4, like...
Well, and she... The first
People
time...
don't casually date in these shows, have you noticed that?
The first time she walks into that apartment, she talks about how disgusting it is, which it isn't.
I don't know what she's talking about. It
just looks like an apartment.
She's like hazmat suits.
Well, yeah, and like it looks fine. And we pan over. He's got a desk that I think has a couple of beer bottles.
Yeah,
but like that's it. Like that's
and like it's not in a great neighborhood. It's not. It's maybe a somewhat dilapidated building, but the way he has it put together, it's
fine.
not the way she's describing it. And I think maybe it's supposed to just be in comparison to his last apartment, but it's not like she was there.
No.
And yeah, that was super opulent and whatever, but like hazmat suits.
No, and if we're doing the broken down like. And
this is a gritty show where we see dilapidated rooms and stuff.
Well, and if we're doing like the broken down like gritty detective, which is what they're doing, he's a bounty hunter, but like we play the kind of smooth jazz noirish kind of stuff when she's first talking to him is like, "I need you for a case."
Which was completely out of place and never used the rest of the episode.
You find people.
I love that.
You're a bounty hunter. That's what you do. I was like, no, you get a detective for that. Bounty hunters catch criminals. That's not the same. I mean, this is the thing with noir. No matter what your job is, it's a private investigator. Like if you're a lawyer, you solve crimes and like hunt people down. Like that's what you do in noir. But
yeah, if you're a pizza delivery boy,
yeah, exactly. But
I want that show.
Going with that, you need to have beer bottles all over the apartment.
Yeah.
She
needs to be stepping on cheese pizza.
I know no one's gonna be like actually smoking in this show.
Yeah,
but have some ashtrays with some put out just for with some put out cigarette butts just for the decor of it, so it looks.
I know you always bring up the smoking thing, and sometimes I'm like, obviously we're not gonna have that right now. Let's move on. Mm-hmm. But like this show of all shows ought to have it. Because it's out of time, mm-hmm. it's doing the noir-ish thing. Mm-hmm. Harvey Bullock smokes. Oh, there's no way this guy doesn't smoke.
At least cigars.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. No. And I'm not saying every show should have people smoking. I mean, they should, but I'm not saying that. I need to be represented on television. That's all I'm saying. My demographic is being neutralized by the TV censors. I don't need Gordon to be smoking. I'm just saying, if you're going to have a rundown apartment, put some ashtrays around it with some cigarettes in it so it looks like he's burned the candle at both ends or something.
Yeah, I don't know what she was talking about.
It just looks like a regular apartment in a not great neighborhood. Like, it's not a great apartment to begin with.
Yeah.
But it's not like there's clothes strewn about or...
Do you have any opinion about Valerie Vale at this point? And the actress is fine, but
She's fine.
it seems to be kind of a typical news reporter kind of character. It seems like they're using this as an excuse to suddenly do media things, which I kind of feel like we just haven't done all that much of. There's been a little bit here and there.
Yeah. Well, and...
Like, all of a sudden, the press keeps showing up, and it's like, just to get her in there somewhere.
Well, and Penguin uses that. Penguin read the script, saw we were doing media stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about Penguin. Because when we talk about really insane cartoon stuff in
Power
Gotham,
Rangers.
So far this season, it's all with Penguin.
It's great. It's so good.
Apparently, he speaks and Gotham responds, and I don't know when the... Help me out. What am I missing?
I don't know, because the way the scene plays... We go into where there's like a bunch of cop cars, and we go into a building. And then outside of that building, Penguin apparently just like gets up on something, starts talking, and there's like 1,000 news people there.
Yeah.
And then he gives this whole speech about like that the police aren't doing enough, and Fish Mooney's gonna die, and all this. And then we just drop that. And then at the end of the episode, when we know where Fish Mooney is, Penguin's like, I speak and Gotham listens. And then he's just got a mob with him.
I don't know how he got these people. It wasn't a mob it wasn't regular townspeople in the first place.
No, it was reporters.
Is it just because that was televised?
How did he?
Like that
how did he?
speech?
But how did he get in contact with them? How did he know people were riled up about it?
I don't know. It's hilarious. All of a sudden, all these people show up, and I'm like, is this something you've been able to do all along?
And he's saying things like his big like rallying cry is like Fish Mooney dies, and like the entire crowd is like Fish Mooney dies, and I'm like,
I don't know exactly.
Do regular people know who Fish Mooney is? Like, if you have some mobsters around here, I don't know who they are. Do you know who they are?
Yeah, that's the thing I've always been a little bit on the fence about or unsure about, is like what normal people that aren't involved in all this political corruption and the mobs and things, like what they know exactly. I'm not sure about that. So, but I'm also confused as to what position Penguin's at right now. Like, I guess he's back into Fish Mooney's old position.
He seems to be in control of the mob.
And he's in control of the mob, and we don't have the two sides anymore because we got rid of...
Well, no, he has to be in control of the mob because of the whole thing with Barbara's club, where he makes a decision like you're on his territory, and then he just kills him. Like, he's in control of things. He's because we find out that Butch arranged that whole thing so that he would have something over Gallivant's sister, because they were in a loving relationship, and now for some reason they're not.
Again, I feel like I missed something. Yeah, I just can't... That's the thing, is that we're enjoying the show, but we're not invested. It is a soap opera, right?
Mm-hmm. I wish it was every day of the week like a soap opera.
Yeah, I wish it was filmed live like a soap opera.
That'd be good.
That's what you really want.
That'd be good. We would be remiss if we don't talk about...
Well, real quick, Butch, because I just want to know, like people leave comments with stuff that we're missing, because we have not had time to go back and rewatch all season 2, and I didn't talk about it for half the season, so I was watching casually. But with regards to Butch, he seems to have just tucked his tail between his legs and got into the corner and said, "Okay, Penguin, take over again." Like,
yeah, he's totally fine not being in charge of everything.
I thought he had ambitions and stuff, and he seemed to be running things pretty well.
Yeah, no, I think he just kind of fell into that, and he fell back out of it, and just, sometimes things goes up, sometimes things go down. I think he's a really chill guy. That's what I think about Butch.
I guess, but he hasn't been above double crosses and stuff in the past. Well, you're right, he is a really loyal guy. He was really loyal to Fish. But... Anyway, that's a character that I'm surprised is still around. Yeah. You'd think we would have killed that guy off by now.
Yeah.
He was a glorified henchman early on.
Yep.
You know what he is? You know what he is?
He's Bob?
No, well, he is Bob, but more than that, he is the chick from Arrow that we don't like anymore.
Laurel?
Yeah, no, what? Sorry, we're in a different show now, and I can't think of things.
Felicity?
Felicity, yeah. He's Felicity. He's the character who was like nothing at the beginning. and then they've turned into a main character.
He's not dating Jim Gordon.
No, I know, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
that he's that weird character that like all of a sudden is like, and I don't mean that they're touting him up like the most important thing in the show, but that's pretty funny.
Well, he's what Felicity should have been. His role has kind of grown naturally as the show needed it.
Well, I guess.
But we would be remiss without talking about Crow fan Bruce Wayne.
He does look like the Crow.
So at the end of last season, we get the bus opens, all the freaks get off, and one of them, seemingly a clone of Bruce Wayne, somebody whose face has been engineered to look like Bruce Wayne, something like that.
We don't know yet. Yeah.
He's kind of wandering the streets like a homeless person.
That just felt like the high point of the madness. Like that was, as bat stuff crazy as that last season was, that was the absolute best possible way to end it. And also, insane evil Bruce Wayne. I was like, yes!
Well, he's not insane or evil, he's confused and lost.
Yeah, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, I kind of wish he was
This could have been more fun.
He could have been going around killing people, and then people think Bruce Wayne's killing people, and he could have done something with where Bruce is still investigating like the corruptionist corporation. They're like, well, you're investigating us, but you're murdering people, or like something.
And then the Wayne board takes advantage of that.
Yeah,
we haven't talked about the kidnapping and all that stuff either. But
we haven't talked about the
get to that in a second.
Owls. But so whenever Crow fan Bruce Wayne shows up, we have this music, and the way I describe this music, and maybe most of the music in this show. Like when we do the noir stuff, it sounds like they went to their composer and they were like, here's the soundtrack for Cowboy Bebop, do something like that. When this guy is, when Crow fan Bruce Wayne is on the screen, it sounds like someone was like, do something kind of Danny Elfman-y. Because it's just like,
it's hilarious. Well, and isn't the whole show at this point just based on Batman Returns? Like,
kinda.
Really?
I think it's the same Penguin dad.
Just stylistically, and yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, what it looks like, what it sounds like it's Batman Returns.
But why do I enjoy this? But not
makes
Batman Returns?
About as much sense because you had
because it's still going, and I just can't believe it's still going.
Yeah, and because as much as that third act of '89 doesn't really make sense,
it's my favorite part.
It feels but what I'm saying is that movie felt a little bit more like a traditional narrative, and Batman Returns is just all over the place, and it's all style and no substance.
Mm-hmm. Well, this started as a traditional narrative, and then somewhere they just lost it.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that, like, if you cut to, like, the story group, the writer's room for this show, you're looking at one of two things. One of them is everyone just sitting around laughing and being like, oh, you know what else would be great? The other is that whoever the head writer is just a crazy person making demands. We're just like, and then there's going to be another Bruce Wayne! And he's going to be sad.
And we need a bazooka!
Yeah.
Gotta have a bazooka.
And the music will go, bah, bah, bah.
Doesn't it feel like Ben Edlund would be perfect for this show now?
Yeah!
Like, he was one of the producers and was writing episodes in season 1. He's been gone since 1, and thank God, because now we got the tick, and it just went to series, and oh boy, I'm excited.
5. Yeah!
So, take Ben Edlund out of this and give me that great tick show that it looks like we're getting.
Well, if Ben Edlund stays involved and the show gets as crazy as it is, we get, like, Clockhead,
Clock King.
Yeah, Clock King, but with the Clockhead, we get... I think we go to that place.
We get that kind of... Yeah, sure.
And maybe it'd be even more 66-y, but I don't know.
But it's just ironic to me that he was ever writing on this show, and now it's this. But anyway, so Crow fan Bruce Wayne.
The thing I'll say about him is that we move things up faster than I thought we would. I thought we would have like 6 episodes of him wandering around being like, who am I? Who is Bruce Wayne? Because that's basically the exchange he has with Poison Ivy.
But he actually goes to the manor at the end.
That's the stinger. That's not the stinger. The stinger is
Leslie Tompkins.
Is Leslie Tompkins with the most beautiful shot I've ever seen of a train ever. It looks better than the Harry Potter films. Like, it's just amazing.
The show's gorgeous.
But
it's not just that scene, right? Like, the show is a really pretty show.
But that scene in general was just amazingly lit. Except for that weird fire, which was still amazingly lit, but there's just a fire happening at the train station.
It's Gotham.
But, so...
There's fires everywhere.
So Crowfan Bruce Wayne goes to Wayne Manor. Like, that's where we leave. Bruce Wayne is... He's standing in the window behind the curtains and then steps forward. That moved a lot faster than I thought it would. Yeah, and that music, yeah. That moved a lot faster than I thought it would. I'm hoping they get nuts. I hope Crowfan Bruce Wayne murders Bruce Wayne. And he becomes the new Bruce Wayne.
There's no way that's what they do.
Oh, but I want it.
But you do have to wonder why we've duplicated Bruce Wayne. I want to say surely they have an end game for that, but then the show seems to be plotted scene to scene.
It's Mystique at the end of Days of Future Past thing. They could have just not come back to it.
I don't know.
Is there anything? Well, we
need to talk about Court of the Owls.
Well, and maybe briefly on Barbara, who's just the Joker now.
Yeah, that's fine with me. They could just make her the Joker at this point.
I don't need you to linger as much with her doing her, like, crazy face. Like, we get it, she's crazy.
Yeah, quit doing that. It feels like... So you know how, first season, the production seemed to be, for whatever reason, obsessed with that actress and, like, in love with that actress? I think they still are. And I think what it is now is, oh boy, she's so great, look at all the crazy faces she can make. And then they just keep shooting her doing that.
I'm good with her as long as we don't do anything more with Jim Gordon with her. I don't want Jim to think... Because you remember last season where she was sane?
Yeah. For 5 seconds.
Yeah, and Jim was like, maybe something might happen. Like, maybe we could get back together. I don't want any of that.
Well,
I don't need a love square with Jim Gordon.
Yeah. And she's back with Gallivan's sister again. Whatever her name is.
Yeah, and that's just this weird thing, because Butch and her were, like, just together, and then they bring in Barbara, and it seems like the three of them are maybe together, and then Butch is just... Like, maybe this was resolved at the end of season 2, but I don't remember Butch getting kicked out by the two of them. But now they're together, and she still has feelings for Butch, it seems like. She keeps making these faces like she's trying to act and show me something, but I can't figure out what it is. But I think she's still into Butch a little bit. So yeah, we gotta talk about the Court of the Owls. And their terrible masks.
I think it's funny that they're just operating out of the dining room from Batman '89. I really wanted Bruce to be like, "Can you pass the salt?"
But more polite than '89 Bruce Wayne, because they don't put him at the end of the table.
The very end, right?
He's like halfway.
Right. Yeah. But there's still chairs in between.
As if there was a business conference and everyone else left, and Bruce just stayed in the seat he was in.
That was a cool looking room, though.
It was. Sure.
I just want to throw that out there.
The show was cool.
But at first I thought that part of that room was like CG'd, and then I decided that it was a room they found. Mm-hmm. That room I think exists someplace, and it's cool looking. Like, that had to have been an on-location thing. There's no way they built that.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, just tacking that on. I want to know what that building is, because there's a really cool room in there.
Everything looks cool except for, anything to do with the Court of the Owls.
Yeah.
That Court of the Owls mask is dumb. Like, why isn't it just the Snyder mask?
And then we have
the Talon guy is just dressed like Kato.
Talon guy,
we assume.
Yeah.
He's someone that's working for the Court of the Owls. He dresses in black and theoretically murders people. And he just looks like Kato.
So I said while we were watching it, wouldn't it have been cool if Bruce Wayne did what he did in the comics and as a kid discovered the Court of the Owls?
Which he did.
Which now that I finished the episode, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, he does, but he hasn't figured out up to, like, knowing the name of it and that it's the Court of the Owls and all of that, and that they're supposed to be running everything. I don't know if they are in this. I don't really know what they are yet.
They're running a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, because they're like, we own Wayne Enterprises, and you can't give us something we own already. And
so the question is, because they make Bruce drop, they threaten Bruce and Alfred, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they threaten anybody else? Do they threaten Selina?
It's just generically and the people you care about.
Okay, so they're going to murder Bruce and the people he cares about if he doesn't drop his investigation.
Yeah.
So he agrees to drop his investigation. He's very sad. His eyes are very watery. He doesn't cry because he's a man, but his eyes water a little bit. Is that us shelving that for a little bit? Is that us being like, well, we don't really know what we're going to do with the Cordiales. We'll save that. Is that what we're doing with that? Or do you think next episode? Well, I guess Bruce is now dealing with Crowfan Bruce. So.
Yeah, I think he's just going to deal with his doppelganger for.
Okay,
a bit.
so yeah, I think I'm guessing we are done with Cordiales at least for a couple episodes, if not to the end of like mid-season.
I mean, who knows? It also could be a thing where we've introduced them so conveniently we see them doing things even though we've never known about them before, and they do things unrelated to Bruce Wayne, and then he comes back and they deal with... My guess is, if you're right and it's a while before we see them again, it's because they don't want to do the Gallivant thing and make it feel like two separate seasons, where like we have a big bad for half a season and then suddenly it's another thing we're dealing with and we split off and it's like we did two shows.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're as tired of Bruce looking for things as I am, because it's explicitly...
I know I am!
You can't investigate the Corps of the Owls, you can't investigate the corruption in Wayne Manor, or in Wayne Industries, and you can't investigate the murder of your parents. That means Bruce Wayne has to do something new! He has to do something different!
Here's what I don't get, though. Besides just the sheer power of them... And what they seem to be capable, and he doesn't really know anything other than just what they're telling him. Mm-hmm. But besides that, he's been really reckless, and there's been kind of some paralleling between him and Jim Gordon about how reckless they are up until now. Mm-hmm. Like, why is that the thing that finally gets him to stop investigating his parents' murder? Like, I'm not sure I buy that. I feel like he would still be working behind the scenes and thinking, having...
He would learn tact from this. He's not going to go to the board of directors...
He's done this twice now!
...and be like, you're responsible for the death of my parents! Like, he'll get all of the facts, and then he'll filter it through someone else and have it come out.
But this is why I don't buy it, because we have this character that we've established for 2 years now doesn't learn things. He doesn't learn from anything. And so he went to the board that one time and basically just and didn't even threaten them with anything. Had no leverage, if memory serves. He basically just said, I know stuff, bye. And then, of course, he gets attacked or kidnapped or whatever. Now he does it again. This time I guess he's learned to the point of, I need leverage. But then, of course, he's going to get kidnapped again.
Well, and
that's what
happened. And Alfred's like, well done, Master Bruce. Like, what?
Yeah, and Alfred's been all over the place.
Supportive, not supportive.
Yeah, is he okay with this? Is he not? Does he want Bruce to be investigating stuff? I have expected him to do what you did, what you expected him to do in that scene where Bruce was like, I can't keep investigating, where he'd be like, well, I'll do it for you.
Yeah,
like, that's kind of
you said you wouldn't, but that I didn't.
We've got a loophole here. You see, I can look into stuff. I really thought that's where they would go, because there has not been a natural progression with either of those characters. I don't know really who Alfred is much of the time.
Well, and part of it I think is a little bit
what he wants the most. Like, does he want Bruce to find out about his parents' murder, or does he want Bruce to be a normal kid, or what is it that he wants exactly?
It doesn't seem like
that seems to change on a dime.
It doesn't seem like he's arced. It's not like he started wanting Bruce to be a normal kid and then he realized this is really what Bruce should be doing. It's just episode to episode, sometimes scene to scene, how he feels about all of this. I can't read him. And part of it is the actor. He's almost like Cockney, like he's very that British ruffian kind of, like, I imagine as a kid this guy went out and like beat people with clubs for fun. Like, he just seems really rough around the edges.
Yeah, he is.
He was a Clockwork Orange guy. I don't know, he seems like he was a street thug in his early years.
Yeah, and he gets in as many action scenes as anybody else in this show.
Yeah.
And not just with guns.
No,
like a lot of
his sword fights.
He's sword fights.
I want more Alfred sword fighting. I really do. If there was a place for the Cavalier, it is this show.
Is anybody watching the show still riveted and excited to find out what exactly the conspiracy with the parents is? Because we've stretched it so far.
Is anyone still watching the show?
Yeah.
Are we alone?
But you see what I'm saying? Like, I predicted early on, and this was not like a clever prediction or anything, that they're gonna have like a really convoluted mystery plot about Bruce Wayne's parents, and we're not going to find out right away what it is, and it's going to be a bigger thing, and it's going to look like it was a lone gunman, but then there's somebody behind it, and we have done all of that. But even when I was like, oh God, please don't go there, I thought it would be wrapped up in a season. I thought we would stretch it a season. We've stretched it into 3.
Well, and here.
Is that what the show is? Is last episode not he puts on a bat suit, it's he finally finds out what happened with his parents?
Well, and here's...
And what could it be that would be satisfying at this point? Oh, okay, the Court of the Owls wanted his parents dead. Like, at this point, I don't even care. It's like, okay, there was some conspiracy, they're dead.
It all goes back to Darkseid eating babies. But here's the thing with your question of, are people still riveted? Mm-hmm. If people aren't watching this show the way we're watching it, I don't know what they're getting out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Is anyone surprised? Plot twist? Are there people emotionally invested in the show?
Are they engaged?
Yeah.
In an emotional sort of way.
Yeah, did anyone see Leslie Tompkins at the end of this episode like, she's back?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And it seemed like the whole Valerie Vale thing was initially maybe just a new love interest because we were writing her out, but now we're doing the typical love triangle thing. Why do we have to do that?
And we know she was with another guy.
Yeah. Who had exactly Jim Gordon's haircut.
And so what could she possibly say to Jim if she comes back and he's with a new girl? Like, she can't be upset.
And I forget what happened.
Unless she's just really friendly with her brother.
I forget what happened with the with the baby. Was there a miscarriage or?
I think so.
Because remember she was pregnant.
I think there was a miscarriage.
They wrote that out.
I think that was a thing.
Okay. I can't remember now.
Or not. Maybe.
Again, I was casually watching. Hopefully she didn't have it. Like,
well, maybe she didn't show up with a baby. We see her get off the train.
Right.
And unless she stored the baby in the undercarriage. With the luggage.
But was there enough time where... Because she wasn't even showing when she left, so...
I'm unclear on how much time has passed.
Yeah, and that's a thing you've complained about a lot, right?
Yeah, well, between the end of Season 2 and Season 3, we now just accept monsters are roaming the streets, and Jim Gordon is taking them down and bringing them in and getting a bounty for them. Bruce Wayne...
This is the show we're watching.
And, like, some of it feels like maybe like a month or two. And I know there's no way around this, but Bruce Wayne has gained 6 inches. He's gained definition in his face.
But his voice hasn't caught up.
His voice has not caught up. But he looks like he could play somebody in like college age at this point.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
No?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Right.
But he's a lot taller.
He towers over Selena.
Yeah.
Who is in the first episode. She's working with Fish Mooney.
And she's weirdly not aging so much.
Yeah, you're right. She kind of looks the same.
About the same as she did before, I think.
And she's kind of angry at Bruce because something. Why is she angry at Bruce?
I don't remember. There's too many subplots.
This is another thing where, like, I feel like this is a holdover from the end of Season 2, but it seems like a couple of months have passed.
It's because he left and went on like a sabbatical.
Oh, that's right.
Bruce
Bruce is gone between that in this time. He went to not France. She says he should have gone to France.
He went someplace else.
Berlin, maybe.
Somewhere. I can't remember. It's not important.
Sweden. He went to Sweden.
That's what it was.
Yeah, she's like, France is nicer.
It's like, how would you know?
But
you're a street urchin that's been...
I don't think you even own a TV. Like, you haven't even seen France. But so, like...
Selena Kyle's favorite movie is Ratatouille. That's what we've discovered.
She's involved... No, her favorite movie is, Disney movie Cats.
Oh, Oliver and Company.
No, not that one.
Oh, well, that's all.
The one where they're like, everybody.
Yeah, no, Aristocrats? Aristocrats.
Yeah, Aristocats.
Aristocats.
Aristocats, which I believe takes place in France.
Does it?
I'm wrong. I don't know.
Knife that was...
Is that America?
Another New York movie?
Turn of
Maybe
century
not.
America?
I mean, I know. You got me on Disney things.
Anyways, That's
I'm
her
rusty.
favorite,
I don't
that's
know.
her favorite movie.
Yeah, that's her favorite movie. Okay.
I never liked that movie as a kid. But she is nowhere to be seen in the second episode.
I love Oliver and Company.
And she seems like she should be involved with that plot based on what happens in the first episode. Maybe she leaves because she's angry about what they did to Ivy?
I don't know, but you'd think you would see that dramatized. Well, anyway, anything else that we haven't hit?
No. I'm trying to... No. Doctor Strange is good. Hugo Strange. I keep saying Doctor Strange.
I mean, he's Doctor Strange.
I know he's Doctor Strange, but... Well, actually, I think he's Professor. I think he's a professor. I think we hit everything. This show continues to be weird, wild stuff.
We'll see you again next week, and we'll talk about more of it. This is kind of a long one, but we knocked out 2 episodes, so...
Yeah. Well, and I hope we continue to escalate the crazy.
Yeah.
I really do.
That's what that and production value.
Yep. I'm hoping next episode we get something... I hope every episode we get at least one thing where we're like, what?
I mean, think nothing can surprise you. You know what we've cut back on so far, though? I gotta say this. There was that, and we don't actually, see them outside of bags. There is that whole we're burning bodies thing at the end of this.
Oh, yeah!
But we've really scaled back on, the dismemberment, and, I'm waiting for that to happen again, because we like to get real,
we could have done something when
gross and violent. Okay, so the guy got hit with a potted plant, and he's got blood coming out of his face, but it's not...
a part of the pot isn't embedded in his skull.
It's not Fish Mooney stepping on her own eyeball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which will never leave my mind.
We didn't mention the Penguin Fish Mooney scene.
Oh, you know what? We probably should do that real quick.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Even for this show.
I just don't buy... Again, it's really hard because you want to try to hold it to its own terms and its own internal logic. With the... I feel weird even saying internal logic with this show, but with as much of that as it musters, I don't buy that Penguin is that easily manipulated.
No.
He leaves her alive?
Well, and that scene annoyed me on both sides. I hated her reasoning for not killing him at the end of Season 2, because he's her creation. No, he's not. Everything he did was a self-made man. He manipulated him around her and got what he wanted. He is not her creation. So I hated that line of logic, that's why she didn't kill him in last season. And then he doesn't kill her because
but again, she's just using
bad.
that logic out of desperation, really, because he could kill her right now.
If we were smart and she was going to use that logic, we play into his mom.
Yeah.
Because he has such a relationship with his mom that, I'm your real mother, kind of a thing.
That's interesting, yeah. Yeah, where it's
and maybe that way
where it's
I would buy
I created you in the sense that you couldn't have done what you did if I hadn't spared you,
Mm-hmm. But play it as I'm like your mother, because we know that's a soft spot for him. Maybe then I buy that he lets her leave. I don't buy that any explanation that she gives is really going to stop him from murdering her.
Because everything he's done has been about that.
Yeah. Yeah, from day one. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks a lot for watching, folks. We sure appreciate it. We'll see you again next week with more Gotham on Primetime Crisis and also other superhero shows coming out soon. We'll be covering, I'll be covering anyway, Legend of Tomorrow and Supergirl. We've got Jackson Rasco on Flash. We've got Manos on S.H.I.E.L.D. And we've got
Steve on
Arrow, and we've got Low still on iZombies. So look forward to those things and possibly more coming your way. Eric might be covering Lethal Weapon.
Maybe.
So
yeah.
we've been talking.
We'll see
about
how this week's
that.
episode goes.
Okay.
If it's good, I'll at least cover it for a season.
Do something short on it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again for watching. We sure appreciate it. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
Bye.